At exactly 3 a.m., the door to Cole Danner's cabin slid open, and an alien woman stepped inside whispering, "Human, will you clean me?" He had no idea that this single sentence would start a chain of events that would save an entire starship, and prove to the galaxy why humans were never ordinary. The transport vessel Aelio's Dawn moved silently through deep space, 3 weeks away from Earth and headed toward the frontier colony world of Erindor. Inside the ship, most of the crew slept in artificial night mode. Only maintenance systems hummed softly. Cole Danner was awake. Sleep rarely came easily to him. He was a senior maintenance engineer, the kind of man who fixed problems others ignored. On Earth, that had meant broken power grids and collapsing city infrastructure. In space, it meant life support systems, coolant regulators, and atmospheric stabilizers. If something failed out here, people didn't complain, they suffocated. Cole preferred machines to people. Machines made sense. At 3 a.m., his door alarm chimed. That alone was strange. Night protocol restricted movement between crew sectors. When he opened the door, he froze. Standing in the corridor light was a tall alien woman, her skin shimmering in faint waves of blue and silver. She belonged to the Illyrians, a peaceful aquatic species known for diplomacy and environmental science. Her name was Lyra Vesh, one of the ship's xenobiologists. Her uniform was soaked in glowing green fluid. Her skin flickered violently. "Human, please," she whispered. "Will you clean me?" Cole blinked. "Clean you?" Her breathing was uneven. "Coolant rupture in biolab. Compound 7X reacted with my dermal layers. My quarters unit is offline. Medical officer is in cryocycle. If toxin crystallizes, I will not recover fully." Cole's brain shifted instantly from confusion to calculation. Compound 7X coolant was harmless to humans. But for Illyrians, whose skin absorbed trace chemicals through bioreactive membranes, it could cause neural scarring. "How long?" he asked. 40 minutes before cellular hardening begins." Cole stepped aside. "Get in." His cabin was small, a bunk, a tool bench, compact hygiene unit. Nothing fancy. But human showers were pressure-regulated and temperature-controlled manually. Illyrian systems were automated and calibrated differently. Hers had short-circuited during the leak. Lyra removed her damaged outer layer suit carefully. Her bioluminescent skin pulsed erratically. Cole kept his focus clinical. "Tell me temperature range." 38 Celsius. Gradual increase to 41. High-pressure rinse along dorsal ridges. Avoid cranial fins. He nodded and activated the shower chamber. Steam filled the air. He worked carefully, using neutralizing gel first, spreading it across her upper back where the green residue glowed faintly. The gel foamed and dimmed the toxin's light. Lyra exhaled sharply, not in embarrassment, but relief. "Your hands are steady," she said quietly. "I fix things," Cole replied. "That's what we do." As he adjusted the spray angle to reach between the delicate ridges along her spine, something unexpected happened. The toxin reacted. Instead of fading completely, thin crystalline lines formed, spreading outward in geometric patterns. Cole frowned. "That's not right." Lyra stiffened. "It is accelerating." "Yeah, but not randomly." He leaned closer. "It's following your neural channels." She turned slightly. "That is impossible." Cole shut off the water instantly. "Not impossible. Patterned." He grabbed a diagnostic scanner from his toolkit and ran it along her back. Numbers scrolled. His jaw tightened. "This isn't just coolant exposure." Lyra's voice dropped. "Explain." "The compound is binding to your neural lattice. Like it was designed to." Silence filled the chamber. Outside the cabin, the ship drifted peacefully through stars. Inside, everything changed. Lyra's skin shifted to a pale silver, Illyrian fear response. "That compound was manufactured on Earth," she said slowly. "Yeah," Cole replied. "And only humans modified its molecular stabilizers last month." Cole stared at the scanner readings. Someone hadn't made a mistake. Someone had engineered this. And if the toxin bonded permanently to Illyrian neural tissue, it wouldn't just harm Lyra. It could destabilize every Illyrian crew member aboard. The Aelio's Dawn carried 6 Illyrians. And hundreds of humans. Cole moved fast. We need to flush this out completely before it locks. It is spreading, Lyra whispered. Then we adapt. He increased water pressure beyond recommended Illyrian tolerance levels. That may damage. Trust me. Humans were famous for brute force problem solving. But that wasn't what Cole was doing. He was watching patterns. The crystal lines reacted to temperature spikes. Okay, he muttered. It's thermal sensitive. He dropped the water suddenly to cold. The crystals slowed. Then he blasted high heat again. They recoiled. Lyra gasped. You are stressing it. Exactly. He began alternating temperature in controlled pulses, confusing the bonding reaction. The toxin lattice destabilized under rapid expansion and contraction. After 5 intense minutes, the glowing green faded. The crystalline veins dissolved into harmless runoff. Lyra collapsed slightly forward, catching herself on the wall. It is gone, she whispered. Cole scanned again. Clean. He stepped back, breathing hard. That wasn't an accident, he said. Lyra looked at him carefully. No, she agreed. Beyond the cabin walls, deep inside the ship's core systems, a small encrypted transmission pinged silently through maintenance relays. Unnoticed. For now. Lyra wrapped herself in a thermal sheet, her skin slowly returning to calm sapphire tones. You saved me, she said softly. Cole shook his head. I solved a problem. She studied him for a long moment. In my culture, solving a problem that risks your own safety is considered courage. He gave a small half-smile. On Earth, it's just Tuesday. But his mind was racing. Someone had altered coolant chemistry. Someone who knew Illyrian biology. And someone who had access to restricted maintenance codes. At 3 a.m., an alien woman had asked him to clean her. What she had really brought him was the first clue in a much larger threat. And humans had just entered the game. By morning cycle, the Aelio's Dawn looked normal. Crew members laughed in the mess hall. Engineers argued over coffee. The ship's artificial sunrise warmed the corridors with soft amber light. To everyone else, the night had been quiet. But Cole Danner couldn't stop seeing those crystalline lines on Lyra Vesha's skin. He stood in the maintenance bay with a tablet in his hands, replaying the sensor log again and again. The toxin had reacted too intelligently. Like a lock trying to fit a key. Lyra entered without announcing herself. She wore a fresh uniform now, her skin calm and ocean blue. But her eyes, large, dark, reflective, looked older than yesterday. You did not report it, she said. Cole didn't look up. Not yet. In your human rules, that is illegal. In my experience, Cole replied, reporting something before you understand it just creates panic and paperwork. Neither fixes a threat. Lyra watched him work. You believe it will happen again. Cole finally met her gaze. I believe someone tried to hurt you on purpose. A long pause. Lyra's voice lowered. My people have enemies. Yeah, Cole said. But the coolant was modified with human stabilizers. That means the enemy either is human, or has human access. Lyra's skin shifted subtly, thin streaks of pale lavender along her collarbones. Concern. Then your kind may blame you, she said softly. Cole exhaled. Or blame you. Or both. And whoever did this will hide behind the chaos. That was when the ship-wide announcement chimed. Attention crew. Environmental team to hydroponics ring B, atmospheric drift detected. Repeat, hydroponics ring B. Cole and Lyra exchanged a glance. Hydroponics uses the same coolant lines, Cole muttered. Lyra's eyes widened. Then this is not finished. They ran. Hydroponics ring B was a massive circular chamber filled with food towers, humid air, and glowing growth lamps. Humans tended most of it, but Illyrians managed the moisture balance and oxygen exchange. When Cole arrived, he saw the problem instantly. The oxygen scrubbers were overproducing. Not by a little. By a dangerous amount. People thought too much oxygen was good. It wasn't. High oxygen levels could turn a tiny spark into a deadly firestorm. And something else stood out. 3 Illyrian technicians lay unconscious near the central humidifier unit. A medical drone hovered uselessly, flashing warning lights. Lyra pushed forward, panicked. Illyrian respiration is sensitive to oxygen saturation. Cole crouched beside one of them and checked the wrist sensor. Pulse weak. Get them out of here, he barked to the nearest humans. Seal the ring. No sparks, no tools, no static discharge. Several crew members hesitated, confused, until they heard the tone in his voice. The kind that made people listen even if they didn't like orders. Humans moved. 2 carried the Illyrians toward the corridor, careful and fast. Another hit the emergency seal. Cole rushed to the main console and slammed a diagnostic port into the panel. Who authorized a scrubber override? He snapped. The console blinked. Override code. Admin level clearance. Cole's stomach tightened. Only a handful of people had that. The chief systems officer. The ship captain. And one quiet, polite man from the security division. A man everyone trusted. Cole pulled up the timestamp. Override executed at 2:58 a.m. 2 minutes before Lyra had arrived at his door. His jaw clenched. This wasn't just sabotage. It was coordinated. Lyra stood beside him, breathing shallowly. This is attempted murder. Cole's fingers flew over the panel. No. This is attempted mass murder. Oxygen overload plus disabled emergency vents means one spark, and the whole ring becomes a bomb. Lyra stared at him, skin paling. Why would someone do this? Cole didn't answer. He already had a guess. Hydroponics wasn't just food. It was life support. Burn it, and the ship's long-term oxygen reserves would collapse. The crew would be forced into emergency rations and limited air cycles. Panic would spread. Trust would break. And in that chaos, someone could take control. Cole's eyes scanned the system map. Then he saw it. A secondary script running beneath the override. Hidden inside a routine update. A small piece of code designed to trigger again, later, somewhere worse. He swallowed. Someone planted a repeating attack. Lyra's voice turned sharp. Can you stop it? Cole leaned back, thinking fast. This wasn't his world. He wasn't a hacker. He wasn't security. He wasn't command. He was maintenance. But humans weren't famous because they followed job descriptions. They were famous because they ignored them when survival demanded it. Cole yanked the coolant system's manual bypass switch, cutting power to the scrubbers. The console screamed warnings. But the oxygen level began dropping. Good, Cole muttered. Now we find the script. Lyra blinked. How? Cole reached into his toolkit and pulled out a battered, old-fashioned device, a portable diagnostic wedge. Lyra tilted her head. That is not standard. It's mine, Cole said. Built it on Earth. It doesn't ask permission from ship software. It reads raw signal. He plugged it into a maintenance port. The wedge flashed, then projected a messy stream of system pulses, unfiltered and ugly. Lyra stared. Why would you carry this? Cole's expression hardened. Because fancy systems lie. Raw signals don't. He scrolled fast, hunting patterns. Then he spotted it. A repeating pulse signature. A hidden loop. The sabotage script wasn't running like a normal program. It was embedded inside the ship's maintenance heartbeat, the basic signal used to verify that systems were alive. Whoever did it was smart. They didn't just hide the knife. They made the knife part of the ship. Lyra whispered, almost awed, that is, genius. Cole's eyes narrowed. Or insane. Then he did something only a human would do. He attacked the ship's heartbeat. He rewired it. Cole, stop, Lyra began. If we shut it down wrong, yes, we can crash half the environmental systems, he said, voice steady. But if we don't, that script will keep hitting different sections until it kills us. Lyra swallowed. Cole's hands were calm. Because humans did not stay calm when they felt safe. They stayed calm when they had accepted fear, and decided to fight anyway. He opened the heartbeat loop, isolated the repeating pulse, and replaced it with his own. A crude, human-made pulse sequence. Something the saboteur wouldn't predict. A messy signal. Uneven timing. Almost like a heartbeat under stress. It wasn't elegant. It was alive. The moment his patch went in, alarms stopped flashing. The script died. Hydroponics ring BS oxygen stabilized. Lyra's skin surged with bright teal relief. But Cole felt no victory. Because he knew something worse. If someone had admin access, they would notice the heartbeat had changed. And they would come looking. Lyra's voice shook. What if the attacker realizes you blocked it? Cole unplugged the wedge and slipped it into his belt. They will. Lyra stared at him. Then you are in danger now. Cole looked around the hydroponics ring. The unconscious Illyrians were gone. The humans were sealing panels again, checking wires, restoring order like nothing happened. Humans were good at pretending danger was finished once the alarm stopped. But Cole didn't pretend. He leaned closer to Lyra and spoke low. Listen. Your people think humans are rough. Unrefined. Too emotional. Lyra's eyes stayed on him. Cole's voice turned colder. That's what keeps us alive. We don't fight like machines. We fight like predators. Lyra's skin shifted, thin streaks of silver admiration. Then what do we do? She asked. Cole looked at the maintenance map. We bait them. Lyra blinked. Bait. Cole nodded slowly. We create a fake weakness in the system. Something they can't resist targeting. Lyra's eyes widened. That is dangerous. Cole gave a tight smile. Exactly. Predators only reveal themselves when they smell blood. Then the intercom chimed again, calmer this time. Crew notice. All department heads report to briefing chamber in 10 minutes. Investigation into hydroponics malfunction begins immediately. Cole and Lyra shared another look. Because they both knew. This wasn't a malfunction. This was war, quiet, hidden, and deadly. And now the ship was about to start pointing fingers. The briefing chamber was silent. Too silent. 200 crew members sat in curved rows under white ceiling panels that hummed softly. Humans on one side. Illyrians on the other. Not by rule, but by instinct. When fear enters a room, species drift toward their own. Captain Myra Kessler stood at the center platform, hands clasped behind her back. She was calm, sharp-eyed, and very human. We have experienced 2 critical system failures within 8 hours, she said evenly. Both targeted environmental systems essential to Illyrian biology. Murmurs spread. Cole stayed quiet in the back row. Lyra stood beside him. Across the chamber, Security Chief Aaron Vale watched everyone carefully. He was composed, polite, almost gentle in demeanor. The kind of man people described as reasonable. Too reasonable. Cole leaned slightly toward Lyra. Watch him. Lyra's skin shifted faintly. You suspect the security chief. I suspect whoever feels safest in chaos. On the platform, Captain Kessler continued. Until we identify the cause, cross-species operations are suspended. Illyrian crew will relocate to protected environmental zones. Humans will oversee system diagnostics. That did it. The divide widened instantly. Illyrians looked hurt. Humans looked defensive. Exactly what a saboteur would want. Cole felt his jaw tighten. Fear divides. Humans unite. He raised his hand. The captain noticed. Engineer Danner. He stood. With respect, Captain, Cole said clearly. Separating operations plays into the attack. Murmurs turned louder. Captain Kessler narrowed her eyes. Explain. Cole took a breath. The sabotage wasn't random. It was precise. Someone wants distrust. If we split now, the attacker wins without lifting a finger. Security Chief Vale stepped forward smoothly. Are you suggesting we ignore safety precautions? Cole met his eyes. I'm suggesting the safest move is catching whoever did this. Fast. Vale smiled lightly. And do you have evidence, engineer? Cole's pulse didn't change. He had prepared for this. Yes, he said. The room went still. I patched the environmental heartbeat this morning, Cole continued. But I also left something behind. Lyra looked at him sharply. He hadn't told her that part. Cole turned to the captain. I left a vulnerability. Fake. Designed to look like a weakened oxygen valve in cargo sector 3. Security Chief Vale's expression remained perfect. But his left thumb twitched. Just slightly. Cole saw it. Predators notice micromovements. I assume, Vale said smoothly, you informed command before creating this vulnerability. No, Cole answered calmly. Because I needed whoever did this to believe it was real. A wave of shock moved through the chamber. Captain Kessler's voice hardened. Engineer, that was reckless. Not reckless, Cole replied. Calculated. The fake weakness triggers if accessed with admin-level credentials. When triggered, it logs the user ID before isolating them from the system. Now even Vale stopped smiling. Cole continued. It hasn't triggered yet. The chamber fell silent again. Then, a faint alarm beeped. Not loud, but sharp. Cole didn't look surprised. He slowly turned his wrist display outward. Cargo Sector 3 access attempt detected, he said quietly. Every eye in the room snapped toward Security Chief Vale. His face remained calm. Too calm. That proves nothing, Vale said evenly. Anyone with clearance. Only 3 people have admin override, Cole interrupted. Captain. Chief Systems Officer. And you. The captain stiffened. Vale's hand moved toward his console. Too fast. Lyra reacted first. Illyrians were known for diplomacy. But they were not weak. She lunged forward, slamming her palm against Vale's wrist before he could input a command. His calm mask shattered. In one swift movement, Vale activated a hidden device beneath his sleeve. The chamber lights flickered. Screens exploded with static. And Vale's voice changed. Not in tone. In frequency. It echoed strangely, layered with something metallic. You were not meant to see this, human. Gasps filled the room. Vale's skin shimmered, and peeled away like liquid glass. Underneath was not human flesh. It was something sleek. Pale. Angular. An infiltrator. A member of the Ka-Rel Dominion, an expansionist alien empire rumored to sabotage mixed-species alliances. Lyra's skin flared brilliant silver. They sent a shapeshifter, she whispered. The Ka-Rel infiltrator straightened. Division ensures conquest, it said coldly. Humans are impulsive. Illyrians are fragile. Separation was inevitable. Cole stepped forward. Yeah, he said. You miscalculated. The infiltrator tilted its head. Explain. Cole's eyes were steady. You thought humans would panic. That would blame the Illyrians. The infiltrator's gaze flickered toward the divided seating rows. Instead, Cole continued, you gave us a problem. The faintest grin touched his face. And humans love problems. The infiltrator lunged toward the exit. But humans moved faster. Not because they were stronger. Because they had already adapted. Cole had rerouted the chamber's emergency magnetic seals earlier, just in case. With a sharp gesture on his wrist display, the doors slammed shut. The infiltrator hit the barrier and hissed. You altered ship systems without authorization, it snarled. Cole shrugged slightly. Yeah. That's kind of our thing. Security drones activated. But the infiltrator triggered an electromagnetic pulse device from its wrist. The drones dropped instantly. Lights dimmed. Chaos threatened to rise. And this was the true test. Humans could panic. Or humans could coordinate. Cole shouted, "Manual lockdown protocol Gamma." Several human engineers reacted instantly. Because humans trained for failure. They practiced worst-case scenarios. Across the room, Illyrians moved too, redirecting environmental dampeners to block the infiltrator's energy pulses. Two species. Different strengths. One goal. The infiltrator tried to reach the central control panel. Lyra stepped directly into its path. "You targeted my people," she said, voice steady. "You are collateral," it replied coldly. Cole grabbed a fallen metal chair. Improvised weapon. Not elegant. Human. When the infiltrator lunged, Cole swung. Hard. The impact staggered it long enough for two engineers to tackle it from behind. Lyra activated a bioelectric restraint field from her wrist unit, designed for lab containment. The infiltrator collapsed to its knees, pinned. Breathing heavy. Beaten not by superior weapons, but by cooperation. Captain Kessler approached slowly. "You infiltrated my ship," she said coldly. The KRL's black eyes flicked toward Cole. "We underestimated humans." Cole crouched in front of it. "Yeah," he said quietly. "You did." The infiltrator's voice weakened. "You are unpredictable." Cole nodded once. "Exactly." Because humans did not operate like perfect systems. They improvised. They broke their own rules. They turned weakness into bait. And when threatened, they united. Lyra stepped beside him. Her skin glowed bright teal, Illyrian pride. "Today," she said softly, "humans protected more than themselves." Cole stood. "Nah," he said. "We protected the mission." But as humans and Illyrians stood together in that chamber, no longer divided, something larger had happened. Trust had survived. The KRL Dominion had failed. And somewhere, deep in enemy space, a report would be filed. Humans are not ordinary. They are chaotic. They are adaptive. They are dangerous when underestimated. And if you try to divide them, they will solve you.